everybody, Tekking here with another review of Fishing COD, the manga based on me. You know, I was pleasantly surprised from the reception it got. I mean, I'm happy, but when I was going into it, I was kind of thinking like, alright, this is just going to be kind of like a side video. It wasn't going to be like a hugely popular one, you know, because I'm not talking about a manga that's, it's like publicized and Shonen Jump or anything like that. Like, this is just something that a fan did on me, and it was really good quality, but just because not a lot of people knew, about it, or like the whole premise behind the manga is if you would have to know who I was surprised. But no, it hit 10,000 views pretty easily, and past week alone, I've gotten so many comments asking me, like, hey, when are you going to review chapter 2, and so here we are. And, figuring that Bleach was not going to be released this Thursday, it was released earlier this week, I figured, well, I can fill the gap with this, get all caught up for later on. All right, so if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll throw in some notes right up here. I'll put in links to the original story that I tell, the backstory of Dollar Tree, and then I'll have a link to the story that was being adapted into manga format here, the Tekking's Christmas Eve story, and then finally the video preceding this one, the review of Chapter 1. But this is Chapter 2 review of Fishing COD. You know what? Let's play the intro. Let's do this officially. Go to it! Damn, Skippy. Alright, so in case you have forgotten from the last chapter, I am in the middle of pitched combat with a giant gorilla wearing spiked armor, maybe a little bit more intimidating to the average observer, like this Yushiro person here who got his head ripped off last chapter with a spinal cord attached. Maybe to the average observer that might have been pretty damn threatening, but not to me. I have my armament hockey. I'm managing to take this thing on pretty equally. Actually, not equally. What am I talking about? I'm kicking this thing's ass. I ripped its arm off last chapter. I'm just pummeling it around. It gets the upper hand very briefly. At least it thinks it does. It grabs a hold of my arm like, huh, what are you gonna do now? It's not like you have two arms. Oh wait, I'm thinking to myself. And I just, power up my other arm. I just grab its freaking spike and just rip it right out of its body. It's important to note that the armor isn't really armor. It's actually like embedded into its skin. It's like part of its body. And you have this like big steel shell behind it too that spikes are coming out of it. Right, so I'm just looking at the piece of armor I just ripped off. I'm like, hey, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? So I just toss it away. Remember, we're right next to the store, so we're fighting out in the parking lot. So the piece of armor just bumps up against the side of it where the office would be, and my boss is just kind of sitting there, mysterious woman, and she's just kind of looking at her phone, and she realizes something's a little bit up. A little tap on the side of the building cued her up. Not the giant explosion from earlier that rocked the entire store. Back room exploding. Giant gorilla demon thrashing around, pounding Gremmy and Tsukishima's head into the pavement before proceeding to punch me in the side of the face, knocking me through a plate glass window out into the parking lot. People screaming, shit blowing up, and she's just sitting there like listening to her music like, what's going on? Oh, a mild metal tap against the wall. I should probably see what's going on out here. So she opens up the office, and oh, she is greeted by the lifeless corpse, or head of the lifeless corpse of Yushiro that's lying in the middle of the Dollar Tree store. My God, that is accurate. Like, I know you guys have not been to my store before. Well, at least maybe a few of you have, and I'm not aware, but this setup here is like exactly like it. Like the little, like the pictures on the walls, those little things, by the way, those are like the notifications, the customer information center, which no customer ever utilizes ever. Customers don't like to read things when they're in stores. I know this for a fact because we have giant like banners all over the store announcing that everything in the store is $1. We have little runners on the side of every single aisle that says everything's $1, everything's $1, and yet, with this being the case, I still get asked no less than a dozen times a day of how much is something. You gotta love that. But yeah, this setup is pretty much exact here. So this is my manager, Jess. She walks out. She is dressed like a snowman to go along with the, or I guess snow woman would be the term, you know, go along with the Christmas theme. She looks out the window very briefly and sees me in pitch combat with giant gorilla monster, and I'm just waving to her like, "Hey Jess, how you going? I'm just out here fighting this thing. Okay, you could be cool, girl." And she walks throughout the store. She notices all the damage, probably all the corpses that are lying about, blood everywhere. And then in the next scene, we see Casey and her and Todd. They're all kind of collecting themselves, and they see what happened. The back room wall is completely demolished, and behind it, we see the door to the Expensian dungeon propped wide open, leading down into a dark abyss. To which we then see Jeremy pop his little head out next to the wall, and yeah, we can pretty much determine where this is going. We get the cover page. We see my manager, Jess, standing there. I love her outfit. I love the snowman outfit. The one eye is the Dollar Tree symbol. I love that. I love the background. I have shown this to her, and she thought it was very cute. I was funny because I went up to her and I said, "Hey, do you want to see yourself like a comic book character?" And she's like, "Oh God, what? Is it like an app or something?" And I showed it to her, and she's like, "Ah, that's cute." So she's enjoying it, and she does like to wear like turtleneck stuff a lot of times during the winter, so that fits her. Anyway, we get the title page there, and then she skips to like, "Okay, Jeremy, what did you do? Why did you open the door to absolute evil, you dumb shit?" Oh wait, no. She's a little bit more nicer than that. She won't just berate our employees like that. It takes a lot to get her pissed off. I've worked there for about 4.5 years. I've seen my manager Jess being, severely pissed off like twice. It's not something that's easy to do, but she's pretty calm. She's like, "What did you do, Jeremy?" And Jeremy, of course, he can't really, come up with, he just starts spazzing out like, "I don't know, there was just a door, and I didn't think it was unlocked, and the chains broke, and this thing came running out, and I pissed myself in the corner, and I didn't know what to do." And Jess's response is quite logically, "Why would you do that? Why would you open this door?" It's like it's not hard to understand, guys. It's like, okay, wherever you work, let's say you go into the back room. I'm not even going to say that there's a giant door. Let's say you go into the back room and there is a cage back there. There's a metal cage in the back room of your McDonald's or your Burger King or your freaking Jack in the Box. I don't know, wherever you guys work. But you go in the back room and there's this giant metal cage explicitly there for no reason. And inside this cage, there is a 2,000-pound Kodiak bear just sitting there looking at you. And just gnawing at the bars, trying to break out, wanting nothing more than to slap you around with his giant claws that are like the size of a goddamn freezer door, and just wants to devour your flesh. And the key is dangling from the lock, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go open that." Like, fucking no! You just like, "Okay, Kodiak bear, I'm just gonna not mess with that shit." But yeah, Jeremy's response to this, of course, is, "Why would I do that? I don't know. Was there a rule against it?" He's sniffling. And Jess has the deadpan expression of, "Was there a rule against it?" So, at this time, we turn around to see that one of the people that got curb stomped by the silverback are still alive. It's Tsukishima. Unfortunately, he's coughing up blood on the ground. Probably got a collapsed lung or something, I would say. Anyway, Jess kind of just grabs him by the collar and yanks him over here to make a point. Okay, pop quiz. You see this door in the back room wherever you work. Do you A, fuck with this, evil, or B, do not fuck with this? Tsukishima, despite having some major problems with the world, I mean, wait a second, what am I talking about? He got curb stomped by a gorilla. He got his heart blown out by Byakuya, and he was still alive. What am I talking about? He's still alive, of course. Anyway, despite his faults, he does give the correct answer. At least at first, anyway. B. Ah, see? Right there. It's common sense. Actually, it seems like he's trying to say something else. Actually, it does, yeah. Huh? Bleach! So at this point, we notice on the top shelf, I guess, wherever, the silverback broken, the shelves are starting to collapse, and the top shelf there is a bottle of bleach, cherry blossom scented, of course, that lands directly in Tsukishima's gullet, crushing his body. And, he didn't expressly see the poison entering his body, and I wonder what would happen if you drank bleach. I'm sure I could figure out something. I'm not about to test that. Nobody go out there and drink bleach, all right? You're watching me. I kind of need your support. 50,000 subs, boom. But I'm just trying to imagine, what would happen. It's it's acidic, right? Or is it a base? Whichever. No, wait, ammonia is a base. Isn't bleach acidic? So wouldn't that essentially just like shred your like whatever like lining you had on your throat? Your stomach lining would be fucked. It would just be like burnt out. I mean, someone needed to tell me that. You know, what would actually happen? I mean, you would die, obviously, but yeah. Anyway, just brings the point to order here that, yeah, see, there's not necessarily a rule to drinking bleach in the workplace either, as in, like, there's no expressly written thing on the handbook, but it's just kind of common sense you don't do it. Kodiak Bear example. Alright, in the meanwhile, we cut back over to the other part of the store, I guess, where some people are still there, and oh, hey, check it out, it's Soy Phone and Pepe. Man, I miss them. Okay, guys, get ready. Get your tissues out because it's about to get moist. Hey, you Hey, so what the is going on around here? Alright, so the silverback gorilla about this time gets chucked right back in the store. I just kind of like kick it back in after wrecking its day, and the spikes on its back effectively crush Soy Phone and Pepe in the process. Everyone kind of stares to look at me, and I'm just kind of walking through like, oh, wait, did I just throw a giant gorilla and crush 2 more people? Like, oh, well, damage is kind of done already. And then, see, to put insult to injury, it would seem that Pepe had soiled himself before he died. Kind of the same thing that happened when in the story he died when Latato ate him, and then Soy Phone proceeded to die. Well, I hate any Soy Phone fans that are reading this right now. Like, I understand, I don't like her character, I really don't, but I know there's at least some people out there that do like her, so that must be pretty hard to see her die in a pile of Pepe's urine. Yeah, I would apologize to the Pepe fans, too, because he died in such an undignified manner, but I don't think there's a lot of Pepe Wakabrata fans out there. I mean, okay, maybe there's like 1 or 2 or something. How about you raise your hand? Raise your hand if you're a Pepe Wakabrata fan. Yeah, see, I don't see anything. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, okay, now there's no Pepe Wakabrata fans anymore. He was better off dead. All right, continuing on. I just kind of snicker at their passing and like, never mind. I'm sure they lived a very long and fulfilling life. It's also important to note at this point that when I actually told this story the first time, I did not actually include all these Bleach characters in there. You know, that was something Micheal added just for comedic effect because he knows which characters I don't like. So that was pretty good on him. I think actually in the normal story it was a little bit more darker because I just implied like some like random old couple got killed by this thing, and I'm just like, oh, I'm sure they lived a long life. Okay, anyway, moving on. But yeah, I'm not really jarred by their deaths, so I strike the serious look, and I'm like, alright, the death count's already pretty high, so, you know, Pepe and Soy Phone are probably not adding much to it. At this point, the gorilla musters what little life it has left to try to launch one final attack against me, but I decide, okay, I'm kind of done playing with this thing now, and I just, BAM! I just slam my armament arm right through its freaking skull. Like, it is dead now, so it just drops below me. I'm like, geez, some crackers! I have a mix between, like, swearing like a sailor and just spewing out the most, you know, G-rated curse words ever. Like, son of a beach ball, Batman! But it's a healthy combination, and I think it makes me who I am. Anyway, it's freaking Christmas Eve, and you have to pull this shit, Jeremy. Come on! At this point, everyone is staring down on him like he's the biggest idiot, since the guy that decided to make licorice was a thing. I mean, seriously, licorice. Why? Why? The person that invented licorice. A time machine, first thing I would do, go find that guy and kick him in the nuts. I mean, who's with me? Okay, maybe there's a lot of fans of licorice out there, but I think we would be better off without it. Alright, Jeremy just kind of is looking down. It's funny, he was bawling his eyes out a second ago, now everyone's giving him the death judgment, and he's like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, it just states that I have to close the store down to make sure nothing else gets out. You know, we have protocols for all this. It was raining, so I'm freaking wet, so I had to go. I get some paper towels to kind of dry off. And then Jeremy breaks out asking, oh, wait, what's going on? What was that thing coming out of the door or whatever? And I'm just like, you know, you didn't tell him, Jess? And she's like, well, you know, we hired him last minute. I thought you were going to bring him up to speed. And it's like, Jess, I don't care to do that. You know, anyway, Jess proceeds to tell the tale, or take out her cell phone and tell the tale. while. And on the next few pages, this is great. I relay the tale of the Expensians and the Dallen Guardians, the past arc. And I didn't even ask Micheal to incorporate this. I was about to, but he's on this, right? Like, right whenever I have an idea, like, hey, maybe you should include this. He's already on it and goes ahead and makes it. So, you know, the link, of course, is in the info box. You click the card and you can go and watch this, the history of Dollar Tree story, Tekking's day job video. Yeah. You know, I would just play that right now at this point, but it has some copyrighted music in it, so I can't, I would rather not this video get copyrighted either. So, yeah, I would suggest you just go watch the video to get the full weight of it, because I have some really impactful music playing in the background, and I really don't think I could encapsulate the story again. But suffice it to say, basically a long time ago, there was this tree, and these demons wanted to come and destroy the tree, and then the Dallen Guardians were these wizards and knights that were in order to protect it, and he draws the past of the Dallen Guardians there, and they look pretty cool. There's like a mix between some cool, like, wizard-looking guys, like this short dude with a wizard hat, and this other guy with a tall helmet, and this other person with, like, floppy ears, and, like, I'm looking forward. Maybe we'll incorporate them later. Maybe we will, maybe we not. We'll see where this is going. But yeah, the Expensians were the demons that came down. There was this huge epic war against them, you know, typical fantasy stuff. Eventually, the Expensians got sealed in the tree, called the One Tree, but all the Dallen Guardians were like, all right, we have the evil sealed in the tree, but they were afraid that the evil from the demons was going to corrupt it. So what they did was they took the seeds of the One Tree and planted them all over the world and broke up the evil in different seeds. Now, over time, technology began to grow, you know, the industrial age happened, and eventually there was, like, mass deforestation, which is happening right now, and, you know, trees are starting to get knocked down, and the surviving members of the Order were like, okay, trees don't seem like they're, you know, safe anymore. Some stupid humans are going to come along and start chopping them down, and then that's going to cause problems. So they had the idea, like, all right, we're going to take something that is relatively abundant in the modern era, and we're going to make that the new guardians of the new containers for the evil, and that became a one-stop shop discount franchise. That became Dollar Tree. So now, where every One Tree in the land was placed, now a Dollar Tree stands in that location, protecting the evil and holding it back. And one day, there will be a chosen one, a selected Dollar Tree employee that will rally his fellow employees to victory against the evil of the Expensians should they ever rise again. All for a $7.25 starting wage an hour. Although I think that's been bumped up to $7.50 now, so yeah, you have a lot more stuff to go on there. Anyway, we cut back to the present where we see, I just realized he even did the same thing Kubo did with the flashbacks. You know, with the flashback, Kubo will always change the back of the page to black and rather than white. I just realized that. Awesome on you. Alright, so we cut back over and we see that Jessica's just playing my video that I was making about it, and Casey's face-palming there, and then you see me just smirking in the background. And then we see an unidentified person walking up behind us, like, that guy kind of looks familiar. And of course, and I'm like, oh, of course he does, that's me. But then I see that it is, that guy. That guy. I'm not going to bother you with a story on him. Go watch this video. Annotation, right there. Go watch it. Oh man. That was a weird night. Anyway, he's there, basically causing some problems. What, do you want to rape Todd again? Context. Context. And he's like, what? No, I don't. Before he just gets grabbed by a bat demon and gets drawn back into the Expensian gate, and we see Toshiro getting pulled into. And, yeah, so all of the people are being abducted now by the demons, being dragged into the dungeon. This is why you don't open this stuff up. Pretty obvious, really. Then we see Jess there just thwacking some bats down with a broom, and I'm being all nonchalant. She's just like, oh, are you gonna go deal with this or what? And I'm like, yeah, I got it, I can deal with it. Just let me get a drink first, I'm freaking thirsty. So I go get some iced tea out of the door, with the Japanese characters on it for kanji for iced tea. That's okay. And anyway, she knocks down another one of the bats to one. This one is a little bit different, though, from the other ones. This one is, in fact, or looks similar to a crowbat. Huh, that's kind of odd. At this point, I then realized that everything that I knew and loved about the world was at risk, and that I would have to venture on to save my most cherished compatriots. No, not like Casey or anything like Jeremy or Todd or anybody like that. No, we're talking about Juvia, Blaze, Gogeta Jr., and Polygon. Why do I keep losing everything that I love? So yeah, they get pulled. Alright, so yeah, they get pulled into the maw of hell. And I squirt my tea bottle. And I'm like, alright, we're getting ready. Let's do this. Just give me the keys to the holy sword. You gonna hurt yourself again? Oh, no, it's fine. I've trained with it a little bit. I think I'm good. So that's the end of the second chapter of Fishing COD. And now we're moving on to the real meat of it. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed there. It's important to note a few things at this point onward. Number one, these two first chapters are a little bit more heavy on the comedic element. From here on out, it's going to get a little bit more serious. There might be a couple bits of comedy thrown in and out, you know, but mostly it's going to be pretty intense. And I'm exchanging notes back and forth between Micheal to get some like character designs and everything, how I, you know, picture it, you know, every time he has a question he asks me, and, you know, I'm saying, hey, can you do this, or maybe this, you know. And, you know, I'm hoping that we can eventually, you know, make this more of a series beyond this first arc. You know, I'm hoping we could do a little bit more stuff with it. I've been working on better ideas for beyond this one story, but that's not going to be for a while. I think Micheal said that he's going to try to finish this story the way that I told it in my video by next Christmas. I think that would be appropriate, you know, because we still got a lot of stuff ahead of us here, and it depends on how long each chapter is. So once again, the links to Micheal as well as these two chapters, which are also found on his Deviantart, are below in the description. You know, the accolades are in order for him, you know, but, you know, don't bother him. Like I said, don't bug him constantly for when's the next chapter going to be out, you know, how's it coming, you know, like that. Just one guy we're talking, well, I guess two if you include me, but he's doing most of the work here, guys. All I'm really doing is, you know, drawing some rough sketches out and then writing him some cliff notes and shit. That's all I'm really doing. He's doing the bulk of this work here. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. What do you think's going to happen next in the adventures of me and my Dollar Tree brood? Brood's a fun word. I don't get to say that very much. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Tekking, signing out.